Attention shifts to the world of cricket. Even as Virat Kohli's performance woes have continued, the star Indian batsman has been rested for the upcoming T20I series against the West Indies. It comes as Kohli battles these niggling health issues. Remember, once considered the king of chases and centuries, Virat Kohli has not scored an international century since November of 2019. And now the BCCI President Sourav Ganguly has also come out in support of the former captain. Ganguly says these performance dips are a part and parcel of the sport. This is what we heard from Sourav Ganguly.
Look at the numbers he's got in international cricket. That doesn't happen without ability and quality. Yes, he's had a tough time and he knows that. He's been a great player himself, so he knows himself by his own standards it has not been good, and I see him coming back and doing well. But he's got to find a way which makes him successful, as he has been for the last 12, 13 years, or maybe even more. And only Virat Kohli can do that. Yeah, these things will happen in sport. It's happened to everybody. It's happened to Sachin, it's happened to Rahul, it's happened to me. It's happened to Kohli, it's going to happen to the future players. That's part and parcel of sport, and I think as a sportsman you just need to listen, be aware of what it is, and just go and play your game.
Let's get perspective on this from veteran sportscaster Charu Sharma. He's joining us on India Tonight. Great to see you, Charu. Charu, are we being fair to Virat Kohli? Is this really a rest, or has he been effectively dropped from the team?
Well, he hasn't been dropped yet. I mean, the ODI series is going on. Apparently, he does have an injury, and very often we misconstrue that as a sort of a form of a gentle drop. But really, it's all about T20s, not so much about ODIs, and certainly not about Test matches, because after all, there's a T20 World Cup, and that's why this whole furor about whether Virat Kohli should be in the team or not. Okay, there are many aspects to this. For starters, does India have any shortage of talented, hungry young players who can replace Kohli? No, there's no shortage at all. Does he have an extraordinarily long, lean phase in the game? Yes, he does. So should he be dropped? Yes, he should. But, we need to understand, I say this, I'm happy to shout out from every rooftop. Not that I'm India's socio-cultural custodian, but we have a certain background and heritage and a mannerism in India where we tend not to drop our icons easily. Is that good or bad? I'm not taking a value call here. I think the Twitterati or others who don't really care, the average fan will, of course, bay for his head right now. But, he has been an extraordinary cricketer, going through the kind of phase he is. It's all, therefore, a process of communication between the current team, the captain and the think tank, and the selectors. Perhaps not the board so much, because this is a matter for the selectors and certainly for the captain. Do they still trust that he has it in him? And that conversation needs to take place saying, Virat, we know who you are, we know what you are, you've been our leader. Do you still feel hungry enough? Do you still feel the next big one's around the corner? Then we can perhaps have you for another T20 or so. Prove yourself. And if not, of course, as you know, Virat, and you'll be the first one to know and acknowledge the fact that there are so many others who can take his place. It's a very tricky situation, but nobody's saying anything new. I mean, people are asking for his head. Only those who finished their cricketing career a long time back, I mean, a couple of course asked for it too, have the right, in a cricketer's mind, only those who played at a very high level, who retired a long time back, have, in a sense, the right to say so. You'll find cricketers saying, all this is noise, and who are these so-called experts and what have you. There's a lot of defense mechanism operating here. Sure. And we have to understand that too, because you can't listen to every second fan, can you, and then decide the team.
No, but
so it's not complicated.
Correct.
He probably needs another 1 or 2 T20s if they can afford him that privilege of being, the past captain and the leading cricketer in the world. 2 more, Virat, and then, of course, we'll have to get somebody new in.
But Charu, is this an effective change in how Indian cricket is playing out at this point in time? Are we being less reverential towards our icons? Because the action has been taken. It has been almost 3 years since we've seen Virat hit that century. And yes, we have spoken a lot about aggressiveness in the Indian team, about how we lacked the killer instinct for a very long time. And now that it's there, we want to retain it. If there is young talent, we want to give them a chance if someone's not performing. Is that the new version of Indian cricket?
Well, who's the king of aggression in terms of cricket in India? Virat Kohli himself. He's the one that people have been saying for very long has, if anything, excess aggression. And now we're talking about aggression, without him. I mean, listen, there's no shortage of aggression as far as Kohli is concerned. You mentioned the word irreverential. Yes, I will admit that the new generation, and I mean no disrespect here, it's just the way things are. They have less patience, they have less reverence, and they have every right to say, Kohli, who Kohli, out for them. There's so many other youngsters. But cricket is not controlled, or at least selections not controlled by those who are 20 to 25 or 30 and who are less reverential. There are still many reverential people who are looking after the game, custodians of the game in India, including, of course, our current cricketers, our recently retired cricketers, and certainly selectors as well. It's a very tough job. But, the kind of culture we are coming in from, I mean, that's our heritage. That is our culture. We are reverential. I mean, we're reverential to our parents, to seniors, to elders, and that's just who we are as a people. Now, the younger generation may be less reverential, and that's fine, but you cannot go by a public vote here. I mean, you can't hang him just because a whole bunch of youngsters are saying, who's Kohli? Out with him. These are slightly complicated matters, and you'll find Rohit Sharma too, of course, a couple of days ago, claiming that we're having a lot of conversation with him. There's a lot of chat. If possible, they will give him a longer rope because of what he's done for India. But, Kohli himself is the best judge, and maybe there's some residual, let's win another T20 championship in his mind, in terms of World Cup, because otherwise his lean run, according to his own standards, he should have stepped down from T20 cricket a while back. Certainly not from Test cricket, not from ODIs, but T20, there's so many hungry young people. Yeah. And the IPL has been a bit of a trendsetter there where so many other youngsters have come in, and Kohli did not enjoy a good IPL. So that would have been a pointer that maybe I should not play this intense form of the game anymore because I'm not in great form. And I'll probably still hang on to ODIs or certainly the Test matches where he, again, hasn't done too well. But there's more time. It's not so
Charu, but as far as the arguments go on both sides, it seems evenly stacked, and we'll see exactly how this plays out. Like you say that for the moment, of course, he's not out of the team. He's just been rested, and that's the official word, and that's what perhaps you'd like to believe, and many of Virat Kohli's fans would like to believe. But I'm afraid we're running out of time, and I wish we had some more to be able to discuss this current situation, perhaps in the near future. Charu Sharma, thanks very much for joining us.